welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you another journal entry. Yes, another one. Today we're talking about studying abroad. So a little context if it's the first time you see me. I did my master's abroad in Sweden and I majored in English literature. And since I was 2 years in a completely new country for me, I met a lot of people, I learned a lot of things. And in this video, I want to share with you my experience and my thoughts on going abroad for a longer period of time. I have my own perspective of is it worth it or not, and that's what I want to discuss today. So let's get into it. I would say that the 2 years I was abroad, they were both the best and the hardest times in my life. When I was sending the application forms for universities, specifically for Stockholm Uni, I applied for the second phase, which meant that I knew I got into Stockholm Uni at the end of June, and my classes started in August. So that gave me 2 months to look for accommodation, buy plane tickets, organize my life, and pack everything and say goodbye to everyone. I know it sounds super dramatic, but it was. It actually was. So basically the beginning of this journey was a little bit chaotic, but as soon as I got to Stockholm and I settled in, I was able to kind of like relax a little bit and just explore the city. When I went to Stockholm, I knew no one there. I didn't know anyone. And with this, I want to tell you that if you want to go somewhere, it's okay to go alone. It's okay to go without knowing anyone. I know it's going to be super scary. It is going to be scary, but I feel like sometimes we hold ourselves in certain places because we feel like it's going to be really hard to survive somewhere that we don't know anyone, but it's okay. It's gonna be hard at first, but you'll be fine. Trust me. So when I got there, I had two options. Or I would close myself at home and not talk to anyone and just exist in my room, or I could go explore the city. I could go see new things. I could go see new people. It was my first time ever in Sweden, so why would I stay at home? Why wouldn't I go around and see new things and visit museums and try new restaurants that I never saw in my life? When you have the opportunity to explore a place, go, do it. Do it. If you see yourself in a new scenario and you're a bit sad that you're far from home, just see it in a positive light, like you're in a new place. You have everything to explore. You have a whole area of the map to unlock. Go and do things, even if it's just walking around the park. Even if it's just catching the metro and get off at a random stop, just go and explore that place. So for a while, I did everything alone. I went to museums alone, I went to cafes alone, I went to restaurants alone. I promised myself that I wouldn't miss on opportunities just because I was alone. I wouldn't miss on learning more about a place just because I was doing it alone. But after a few weeks, I had a friend of mine, which was kind of crazy. He went to study to Stockholm at the same time as me. He texted me like, oh, I'm actually going to Stockholm next week as well. And I was like, whoa, crazy. So when we arrived to Sweden, I already knew some cool places, so I took him there. We went to explore another parts of the city. And believe me, doing it alone or doing it with somebody else, I don't think one is worse than the other. I think if you enjoy your own company, if you really like to be with yourself, you're gonna enjoy your time alone as well. Of course, if you're with someone, it's gonna be nice to like comment on things with the other person, get opinions, but you can also do it alone, okay? You can. So basically that was the only friend I had until the beginning of the school year. And when classes started, everything started to fall into place. I started classes, so I began to have things to worry about. I started to meet other people in school events, going to parties, making friends. But then something happened, which I never thought it was something that would bother me and that would actually ruin a bit the experience for me. So me being an international student, I ended up meeting other international students. For some reason, it was easier for me to make friends with people from all over the world besides Swedish. But you know, something that I didn't think about is that I was there for 2 years, but I met people that they were there just for one semester. And that meant that those people were gonna leave. I would meet them and create this amazing friendship for 3 months. And then they'll be like, okay, goodbye. And I was like, what? You're leaving me? Like, you're leaving already? What? This might sound ridiculous for some of you, but when I met them, I wasn't thinking like, oh, they're gonna leave in 3 months. Like, no, I didn't think about that. And as soon as it reached December, January, they were gone. And I was like, oh, all my friends just left. I'm back at like level 1. It just felt like it was summer again and I was arriving in Stockholm for the first time. It was really hard for me because I get really attached to my friends. I just want to hang out with them and be with them, and I love my friends, okay? I love my friends. It was so hard for me coming to the realization that they are leaving and not coming back. And that first semester was really hard for me because it was the first time I had to deal with that. Of course, I knew that my friend's stay in Sweden was temporary from the beginning, but at the time you don't really think about that because you're like, oh, they're here now, let's hang out. But then you get to January and it's like, goodbye. And then I was like, oh, you're leaving forever, okay. And this might sound a bit insane, but from that moment on, I tried to be more selective with my friendships. And what I mean by this is, at first, I was really trying to not be friends with people that were there just for one semester. And you might hear this and think like, Trish, that's so stupid. Why would you put a filter on your friends and be like, oh, if you're here just for 6 months, I don't want to be your friend? I know that it's ridiculous, but the thing is, at the time, I really thought I was protecting myself. That's the only reason. I thought that, okay, if I'm not friends with people that are just here for 6 months and I only become friends with people that are here for like 1 year or 2 years like me, it's gonna be easier because I don't have to suffer with the end of the semester for another 3 times. But the reality is that I thought about that, but I also reached the conclusion that you cannot pick your friends. You become friends with people because of certain circumstances, like you end up being at the same place at the same time. You end up being friends with their friends, and then you meet other people's friends. You can't control that. So my plan failed completely. And I created friendships with people no matter what. And I don't regret it. I really don't. I'm really happy and I feel very privileged that I was able to meet every single person that I met during my program abroad. When people are supposed to be in your life, they're gonna show up no matter where they're from, how long they're staying. It doesn't matter. Any of that matters. If they are to be part of your life, they will. So I gave up and just let the universe do its thing. And in that semester, I met amazing people, created amazing friendships, but the end of the semester arrived, and this one was actually worse than the last one. So in June, besides saying goodbye to all of my friends, because at the end of the year, they were leaving to go back to their home countries, and I was also gonna go back home for the summer holidays. So I was saying goodbye to my friends, but I ended up also saying goodbye to my grandma because she passed away that June, and it was really hard for me to deal with because I was in Sweden. I couldn't go back home because my flight was only in July. And I really wanted to distract myself. I wanted to have my friends around because the thing is, at the time, I basically didn't tell anyone. I think I only told one of my friends because I have this issue that I feel like I'm always bothering people. And this is ridiculous, I know, but I felt that like if I was gonna go around and tell all my friends, like, oh, my grandma died, I felt like I was asking for attention, and I hate that. So I ended up suffering more than I needed to. I I'm aware of that, but I really didn't have the energy to say those words out loud. I I couldn't. So it was really hard for me because I wanted to distract myself. I wanted to hang out with my friends, but they were leaving. So it reached a point that I didn't know what to do because I didn't feel like going out by myself. But then I also didn't have that many friends to hang out with because most of them left. Yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. The good thing is that I was able to travel with a friend of mine to visit her home country in Poland. So if she's seeing this, hi girl, I miss you. But you know what's crazy? She didn't know. I, I didn't tell her. And I know it's ridiculous, but I couldn't tell her what was happening. I was just happy that I could hang out with her and distract myself a little bit. So it was nice to have someone to be with at the time. With this, I want to tell you that it's okay to ask for help. I'm still learning that as well. So it's not like I'm a pro at it, so I'm telling you, you should do it. Like, no, I don't do it as well most of the times, but I think when we're going through hard times, it's important to reflect and think, do I have to do this alone? And if you don't, then go and talk to your friends. Even if it's just one friend, just talk to someone. Let them know your situation, and believe me, if they are good friends, they will be there for you. At the time, I could have talked to more people, but I didn't have this mentality back then. Back then, I thought I was bothering everyone. Like, I wouldn't ask for the smallest thing because I would think to myself, I'm bothering them. But if people like you and they are truly your friends, you'll never bother them. And I think it's something important to keep in mind. After the summer holidays, I went back to Sweden and it was time to do it all again. But the second year was a bit easier for me, and I think it's because I went through what I went through in the first year, and I just thought to myself, it cannot get worse than this. And it didn't, so maybe I was right. I was meeting friends that were there for 1 semester, 2 semesters, it didn't matter. I think it was easier for me to say goodbye in the second year just because I already knew what to expect. So even though I was still sad, I just tried to rationalize it a bit, and it worked, so I think it was good. And then summer came again, I finished my masters, and I packed everything to go back home, and I had no intention to go back to Stockholm. I feel like I realized that even though I really enjoyed my life as a student in Stockholm, I reached the conclusion that I didn't see myself living there forever. And it's okay to realize that you went to somewhere new and reaching the conclusion that that place is not for you. It's okay to realize that a place is not serving you anything more and go back home. Okay? That's what I did, and actually the process of moving back home wasn't too hard because I had my friends help, which I'm very grateful for. And when I went back to Lisbon, I went with a friend of mine because she was coming to visit me. She was staying at my place in Lisbon to just hang out for a few days. So I feel like even the fly from Stockholm back home wasn't too hard because she was there with me. And that summer was quite okay, to be honest, because at that time I didn't realize yet that it was a permanent move. It wasn't like any of the other summers before. So it felt like any of the other summers before flying back to Stockholm, but this time I had no plane ticket booked. In general, I feel like besides all the ups and downs, I had a really good time there, and I think Stockholm is an amazing place to study and have like a nice university experience. And besides all the things that happened, I never regretted. I never regretted studying abroad. I never regretted moving abroad. If I had never done it, I wouldn't know half of the people I know today. I wouldn't have half of the friends that I have today. I wouldn't have visited the places that I visited, nor learned the things that I learned. And if you take one single advice from this video, let it be this one. If you have the opportunity to study abroad, work abroad, I don't care. Do it. Please do it, because you're gonna thank yourself later. It won't be easy. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. It's never easy to fit into a country with a culture that is so different from yours, with people that look so different from you. It's never easy, but you will meet people and have experiences that you would never have the opportunity to meet and have those experiences if you stayed back home. Of course, there's nothing wrong with being home and never leaving your country. But for me, living abroad brought me so many things that I know that if I stayed back home, I wouldn't have those today. And I'm back home now as well, so it's okay to also go try to live somewhere else. And if you feel like it doesn't serve you, go back home. It's okay to be home as well. But if you have this feeling, this excitement, this curiosity to be somewhere else and explore another place, go for it. That's what I have to say today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you've studied abroad before, if you're studying abroad now. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. Please leave a like, it's gonna help me a lot. Subscribe to know when I post next time. I hope to see you on the next one, and bye bye.